Hey guys, back here to talk a little bit about Ring of Honor because no doubt about it, they deserve to be talked about after the pay-per-view that they put on Saturday night. I know this is a little late coming. The reason for that is I finally got my hands on this, and this is fantastic, and this has been the reason that my free time has been taken up a lot of. So there we go on that. But I did want to do this video because I do want to talk about a little bit about the show. Not a full review of the show because there have been enough people who have already told you just how good this show was and given you the reasons why you should make it a priority to see this show. But I did want to talk a little bit about the storylines and maybe just how they progressed on the show and how we might see them move from this point on. Just kind of speculation because I have not been doing a very good job of keeping up. I have watched some HDNet episodes, and the video packages have been good enough to the point where I can keep up on those merits alone, but I have not been buying many DVDs of Ring of Honor because I have been engrossed in Chikara DVDs as of late. I put some star ratings in the description box. I did not give this a 10. I didn't think it was quite there. I thought I could think of a good few shows that I thought were better than this, and I could think of some shows that I enjoyed more than this. So I didn't give it a 10, but I did give it a very high score because it was definitely one of the best shows the Ring of Honor have done in a long time. So there we go on that. Did think this was better than Glory by Honor from last year, and I would also put it ahead of Enter the Dragon. So there we go on that. But this is not a pay-per-view discussion. I should get to the point of this video, which is the storylines that have come from this show. Pretty much gonna cover just the Steen and Generico angle and maybe kind of speculate on where the title picture might take us from this point on. As far as Steen and Generico goes, I hope that we get to see a lot more character development coming from this first match they've had on the Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view where Steen went over. Not altogether surprised to see that Steen went over. I thought there was a substantial chance of Generico actually winning because they have waited 6 months to have the first match. But in the end, Steen did go over, and I think that that actually gives him the window to become even more of a paranoid heel now that he has actually entered the dominant position. Because the only way to become more paranoid now, before, Steen was being paranoid because he was facing the unknown, I guess. Now he's being paranoid because he can be paranoid because he's in the dominant position and there's nowhere to go but down. So he can imagine that there are plots to overthrow him from this dominant position, and he can become even more paranoid to the point where he can mistrust, to start to doubt Steve Corino, I guess. And that will be the downfall because Generico has now, I don't think he'll be reduced to the lack of confidence Generico that we've seen over the last 6 months. I don't think it would be exceptionally exciting to see him regress in that manner, but I think that the fact that he can stay energized and stay confident and most importantly of all, stay within the circle of trust with Colt Cabana, we can see that come to the fore and eventually get the better of Steen, who will be too paranoid and too mistrusting to place faith in anybody else. And that'll be the moral of that story there, I think. That's how I would kind of have the angle go. I have no idea if that's what they're actually going to do, but that's what I would like to see happen, just to kind of progress the story and get more character development in there with the heel that is Kevin Steen, and how it can just kind of alienate him from everybody else. Because I don't especially think that the paranoid heels need to have long-term allies. I think that in the end they'll always break apart from the allies that they have, and that's what I could see happening conceivably with Kevin Steen and Steve Corino. So there we go on that. That's just some quick thoughts on that. As far as the Ring of Honor title scene goes, we all have heard by now that Davey is planning on well, he didn't actually use the word retiring because he hasn't fully committed to the business, so he'll just kind of be leaving at the end of the year. I'm not altogether sure if that's actually going to happen because, as I understand it, he has talked about retiring before and it hasn't actually happened. So, you know, if he actually does leave at the end of the year, will we see him with the Ring of Honor title before the end of the year? I think we will. At the same time, though, I think we will see it, but at the same time, they might not, because with all the attention and hype that David Richards has gotten over the past few months or so, there'll always be these high expectations for a title reign, and the fact that he might leave at the end of the year will mean that any title reign you can give him at this point would just fall short of those expectations, even though he is leaving, and even though there is a good reason why it would fall short. You kind of don't want to do it, because you kind of want him to have, if he has to have a title reign, you want him to have a great title reign. And if he's leaving at the end of the year, there's very little window for a great title reign now that he didn't win at Death Before Dishonor. Not that I don't think that Tyler winning has some good points, because it definitely does. Even though I was calling for Davey to win, I think the fact that the match was so good and the match was actually a 5-star in many people's minds will kind of finally salvage the bad press towards Tyler Black. Because before, when I was talking about this pay-per-view, I was working with the assumption that Davey versus Daniels was the biggest kind of match that Ring of Honor could book right now. But I think that after the match, the show that they put on in the main event of that pay-per-view, I think now that Daniels and Tyler is just as intriguing, if not more intriguing, than Davey and Daniels. So that's the amount of good stuff that Tyler did within that match. That's how much he impressed during that match. I don't see any good reason why anyone should condemn him anymore, because he put on a 5-star match, in my view, and a lot of other people's view. So he really doesn't deserve any of this heat anymore, I don't think. And I think Davey and Daniels, you know, that's still a very intriguing match. But I think that after that pay-per-view, Daniels and Tyler is just as intriguing, and I think we will see both matches before the end of the year. And I'm not sure what the big matches will be for Glory by Honor or Final Battle. You know, we have Roderick Strong in there too, who got a guaranteed title shot on this pay-per-view, and I'm pretty sure that whenever he cashes in on that, it'll be a one-on-one match. So it's kind of interesting to see how that'll go from here. I know I remember hearing in a video on here on YouTube, I can't remember which video it was, the idea that at Glory by Honor we would see a 4-way between those 4 guys for the title, and that would work, I think. But you have to wonder if Danielson ends up coming to Glory by Honor. You have to wonder, will he actually end up facing one of those guys, because I can't imagine anyone else he might face if he's there for just one night on the Ring of Honor show. He'll want to have the best match possible, I guess. I mean, I guess he could face Aries, I guess, but you have to think that he'll probably end up facing one of those 4 guys, and that might kind of put a damper on like 4-way plans. But I'm sure we'll get some combination of Tyler defending against. I don't expect Tyler to lose the title between now and Glory by Honor on September 11th. So I'm sure we'll get to see him face either Daniels or Strong. Maybe Strong. We've seen Tyler and Strong a good few times already, but we might see that again at Glory by Honor for the last time, maybe. Or we might end up seeing Daniels and Black on Glory by Honor, and then at Final Battle, don't know what we're going to see. I would think that it would be a one-on-one match, because that kind of just seems like the thing to do at Final Battle. That hasn't always been the case, of course, but I think that's the cleanest thing to do at Final Battle. So we might finally see Davey and Daniels at Final Battle, I guess, which will probably be, if Davey stays true to his word, Davey's last match in Ring of Honor. So no real pure concrete predictions for this video, just a lot of speculation. Tell me what you think, and I'll be back hopefully pretty soon with another video. Alright, peace.